Hey Justin, it's Yoni here. Just dropping by to see your assignment submission so far. A bit earlier. I'm not sure if you're going to make any changes to this, but yeah, it's looking good.
So, kid, you
I
want to take
really
care
like
of
the
her?
line of
Nurse her
dialogue that you
back to
chose
health?
for this, and
Good.
I really like that the action's kind of like
Then we
quite
shoot.
subtle and based a lot around the actual hat, and there's a lot of things that you can play around with there. Some things that jump out at me stylistically is, first of all, really the staging. There's a few little details that I think you want to try and put some more stuff in. Like, for example, there needs to be a gun holster. We know there should be a gun holster, but that's one little prop that you should model, you should put on top of your gun as well. And what he's leaning on as well, just being a box, you want to put it into a bit more context in the sense of you want to show a bit more of the space of where you think the character is actually going to be. Because if this is inside, a ranch, or if this is, in the outback, or it's somewhere, you want to kind of like show little elements of where that guy is. The other thing as well is that I think that although it's not necessary for the assignment, the staging always improves if you can see what it is that he's talking about, whether it's a dead horse, or whether he's talking about a woman, or he's talking about anything that he's going to try and nurse back to health. This could be in a hospital for all we know, and there's a guy in bandages right in front of him, so all these ideas, I think you want to put them in place, because it gives the character that's talking something to emote with if there's something in the scene with him. So whether that's dead horse, kind of, well, a wounded horse on the floor, or a bird in a box or something like that. That's kind of like the things that are going to be able to help you sell your ideas, because that's going to be different, just acting in a blank space. And I don't think it has to be kind of like a huge modeling gig as well. You can find images and stuff like that to put in the background, or other stuff like that. But I think that when acting, you want something to act to and in relation to. So if you can actually see those two things in shot, that makes your scene just a little bit stronger. The thing that I think that is going on about the first few kind of frames is that we've got a lot of little interactions with the hat. The eyesight is pretty fixed all the time. I think it might be an idea if you can just keep that business of really planning out small little arcs on the hand for what he's doing with the hat, because even when he picks it up, he could be holding it, dropping it round, passing it round, waving it in front, but always in much more relationship, what it is that he's saying. So it's almost like you want to try and convey with the hands some of the elements in the dialogue, so he can point with the hat, he can do more things there, so I think that that's one of the playful parts that you could throw into your scene as well. The other thing as well, that at least pose wise, when he's pointing the gun, it's I don't think he has to point it at us. He has to point it at the thing that he's talking about. So it could be as easy, then we shoot it, or then we shoot it, pointing at whatever he's talking about. Pointing towards camera just doesn't make that shot as strong as it could be, at least in my opinion. And then you want to try and sweeten the poses up a little bit. Silhouette pretty important as well. But you've got this guy leaning over, and he's fairly static all the way through. You can't really tell that there's too much, because as he's talking, there should be just some small adjustments down in the bottom of the body as well. So like in frame 119, you know, when he comes up, you could have here a very, very nice spine reversal coming up from 119 to 133. So instead of him keeping his spine exactly in the same shape, which is kind of like that, you can have him, rise up with the hat like that and reverse the spine. So it just feels that he puts, a bit more weight into actually putting the hat on. And then, of course, once he's put it on, you can also define a second breakdown as well for just defining the overlap that he's going to come down there. And that would be the frame where you could actually drop the foot there as well. So I think that, just by standing up over there, again, it's like the screen right foot, it's in the same pose the entire way through the actual shot. And so I think that, when he takes a step back, just there in frame 144, he could take another little step going over to 152, and that, you know, could help him just adjust the pose. Also, so you've got a bit more variation in the things that are happening. So you don't have to focus all of the animation on what's going on necessarily in the face, but you also have to put the rest of the body into it as well. And as he is so still, you really want to try and look for some nice acting choices, you know, especially in the dialogue of what he's saying, you know, and have him, you know, like leaning in. You want to help this thing. You want to get it back to health. Okay, you know, then we shoot it. And even in that sense of just having a little bit of, you know, intention either towards the person he's talking or away from the person that he's talking to, those are the little things that are going to help you convey the thought process of what the character's actually doing as well. So all these little things kind of like have to go into the body mechanics. So I think that you've got here an initial, you know, stage where you can actually now start thinking about really looking more at your posing and trying to get the posing to read with specifically what the dialogue's doing and what the character's thinking as well. But great work, man. You know, I'm looking forward to see a little more, and talk to you soon. Bye.